All right, everyone. We are going to get back into Surf Air Mobility. Today is July 14th. It is the end of the day, the end of the market day. We had a wild ride today. However, I am still bullish on SRFM. And as of right now, the aftermarkets show that as well. So, real quick, guys, just market sentiment today. We always have to start at the overall big picture. Markets did not really respond well to the over the weekend tariffs that Trump threatened against various nations, Canada, Mexico, whatnot. However, it was a little bit of a shrug off. The real impact was really only felt maybe in the first half of the day today, and then markets started to pretty much recover, and then really recovered moving into the end of the day. Guys, if you ever need to know how the market overall is moving, look at the SPY. This is the best indicator of how the market is moving. So if we look at the overall day, sorry, let me go. If we look at the overall day, sorry, it started off low. It looked like it was trying to be what I call a bear trap, right? They really try to scare you, and then they make their money, guys. The bears make their money right there. They make it there, and then they also make it on the way back up. So if you're familiar with options and whatnot, that's where the big money is made in the first 30 minutes of the day. If you've ever heard that, you'll know what I'm talking about. So if we look at the end of the day, the SPY really at the end of the day took a pretty nice jump there. So that's exactly what we need carrying into tomorrow. I know the after hours is not looking too good, but futures, I believe, we can check them out in a little bit. But SurfM. So what happened today with SurfM? So if we look at the chart, guys, let's start with volume first of all, okay? So if we look at today, the volume, let's do by 15 minutes. It started off with a huge sell-off, all right? It started off with a huge sell-off today, and you can call it profit taken, you can call it people who bought in the aftermarket or the pre-market, because they got all the way up to like 980 in the pre-market. Can you imagine having jumped in the pre-market and then seeing it fall? And some people, they don't care. They get out. They secure their money, and I get it. But for those of us who are in the stock long term, it did hurt, but and not only that, it got worse, right? So it fell to 736, and I kind of thought, well, this is hopefully where it hovers for the rest of the day, right? That would be great to kind of have a W, but it didn't do that, right? Stocks are very unpredictable. You need to understand the risk that comes with investing, and that's why I am not a financial advisor. Let me go ahead and pop that up right there, okay? However, there's trends and there's patterns, right? So we see that there's a big sell-off, profit-taking, fear, whatever you want to call it, right? Palantir might have even sold shares. Who knows? They need to make their money too, guys. Let's just be honest. And then it kind of keeps dipping, right? I did enter around, I would say right here, 670, 665-ish. And then it ended up going all the way down to 622, I believe. 625 maybe. But then 618. But then it did rebound well, guys, at about 2 o'clock maybe. The volume, as you can see at the end of the day, started ramping up. And we're looking like we're pushing in tomorrow with another strong day. So, yes, we were down 23% today. However, depending on when you got into SurfM, you're maybe just letting this ride, to be honest with you. Maybe you're still at a pretty good percentage gain, and you're a long-term investor. Now, if you got in when I first made my videos, guys, again, I'm not a financial advisor, but just be patient. I believe that with that being said, there was news today, all right? So there was news today for SurfM that did show them, hey, we are officially working with Palantir, okay? So we need to make sure that we're aware of these things, because yes, people will try to deter you into selling so that they can pick up your shares for awesome companies. Just know how it works, all right? So again, do your own due diligence. Let me know what you guys think of SurfM, but I still think that we have a lot ahead of us with Surf Air Mobility. Thanks, guys.